Good afternoon. Welcome in. It's Where the 99 Lead, a presentation of the University of Pikeville, where we talk about the University of Pikeville and all things that go on athletically, academically, and in and around the University of Pikeville campus. I'm Andrew Joyce, your host, joined by Robert Staggs, Assistant Athletics Director with the university, as we talk about a special time at the University of Pikeville. And, of course, Where the 99 Lead, this show's name, because those 99 steps that lead to campus and they lead from campus into the world and beyond. Robert Staggs, it's a special time to be on campus at the University of Pikeville. It's Hall of Fame weekend. That's our topic today. And welcome in.
Thank you.
Of course, we talk about the Athletic Hall of Fame, and it's been going on for years and years at Pikeville College, now the University of Pikeville. When did the Hall of Fame actually originate?
1989, Andrew.
And it started with a large first class, I would imagine.
Looks like a pretty good sized class. Donis Butcher, John Lee Butcher, of course Coach Butcher, Paul Butcher.
Paul Butcher, yeah.
And then Terry Epling, Alex Harmon, Wayne Martin, as many of everyone knows. Teresa Ray, Paul Setzer, Fred Walker, and Grady Wallace.
Those are some big names in Pikeville College history. Of course, you talk about the Butcher guys and, of course, the athletic names there. Teresa Ray, one of the all-time great players in Pikeville College women's history as well. And from there, we've seen more additions to the Hall of Fame. And now I'm not sure if you know the number that are in the Hall of Fame currently.
I don't know the
It's
number.
a large group.
But honestly, I can say that I know most of them that's in there. I've watched them play or played with them, and it's been fun.
It's always a pleasure to be a part of Hall of Fame weekend, to see some of those folks come back. Some that we've watched play, that we've broadcast, and some that maybe were a little before our time, but it's always a great time to see them come back to campus. Also, we have all of honorary Hall of Fame inductees. When did that process begin?
That started, Andrew, in 2001. It's a way that we recognize people that are associated with the college or with the university athletically, but haven't played.
Haven't necessarily coached there, but they're a great part of the community, and a lot of those are tremendous supporters, I know, as we look at the list. Who are the members of the first honorary Hall of Fame class?
Well, it looks like a good class. You had Gene Davis, our city commissioner.
Sure.
Terry Fitzer, Chuck Chrisman, who was a longtime trustee and a longtime supporter. The Kinzer family and Ed Love.
It's a great group.
That's a very good group.
Tremendous support around the University of Pikeville campus that some you still see at games today. Anytime the black and orange are in action, whether it be men or women, you'll see those there. What are the criteria for honorary members?
Well, basically, there's no criteria. It's just who the committee deems that has gone above and beyond for our athletic program.
And the Hall of Fame committee, it's a group made up of whom?
It's a
tough question.
Company secret.
Okay.
We don't divulge that just because of whatever reasons. It's a committee made up, I can tell you, about 6 or 7 people.
Right. Folks that have been in and around the program.
Exactly. And we have some there's some Hall of Fame members on that also. So
let's talk about this year's ceremony. When does it get started? Where does it take place? What's public? What's open to the Hall of Fame inductees and their families?
Well, it starts this Saturday morning at 10:30 in Booth Auditorium. Basically, we're inducting 4 people this year, and plus 1 honorary, and actually we are honoring the '97 women's basketball team, the first team that went to Kansas City, or not Kansas City, but Jackson, Tennessee, the national tournament there. Basically, it's we wing it. Honestly, sure. The Hall of Fame ceremony is basically on a wing and a prayer, and and it's gone well doing that. We'll introduce them, and of course their families will be there, and we'll have some refreshments set up afterwards in the lobby.
So a morning induction ceremony, and then basketball that afternoon. This year at the Expo Center, the women's game at 2 and the guys at 4. Typically, the Hall of Fame members, the newest members, they're introduced between games. Does that happen this year?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the role there. Who's being honored this year? You've got 4 members and an honorary.
Yeah, we have Frank Conley, a baseball player, Larry Forrester, football player who was a member of the Elite Nine, Kelly Neese, a softball player who played for me, and Cassidy Schwab, a bowler, and who's actually, I believe he's on the PBA tour. And then Vernon White would be our honorary.
So, do we have other bowlers in the Hall of Fame currently? Is that the first?
I think he's our first. Yeah. No. We have a couple of females, don't we?
So not the first, but maybe the first male bowler,
I believe, yes,
to go into the Hall of Fame, because those programs are very new. But we see one of our men's bowlers go into the Hall of Fame, and it's been a great addition to the campus life and the athletics program at the university. I know. What are some of the criteria for someone to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame?
Well, the number one thing is you have to be a graduate.
Okay.
You have to graduate from the university or the college.
So if someone comes in maybe as a junior college transfer and they play out their eligibility but don't get their degree, they're not eligible.
No.
Okay,
they
have to graduate.
They have to be a graduate.
Keeping student first.
You have to be out at least 5 years.
Okay.
And other than that, you pretty much going to have the stats to get you in.
Had to get it done. Had to get it done and be an important part of the program. It's Where the 99 Lead. It's a presentation of the University of Pikeville where we talk about all things regarding the University of Pikeville. And we don't always talk about athletics on this program very often. We talk about academic programs and other opportunities available at the university. But today we talk about athletics because Hall of Fame weekend coming up, and that's Saturday, January 28th, just down the road a little bit. And we talk about this year's induction class, 4 new members and an honorary member, and the inductees. The committee gets together. Is there a vote taken? Is there contention there? Are there a list of nominees, and that's whittled down? What happens in the Hall of Fame meetings?
Well, typically we have throughout the year we have people that would send emails or write letters wanting to nominate someone or themselves, and they'll put their stats and whatever in there, and then the committee will sit down, take a look at it, and see who's deserving, and basically we try to keep it the class fairly small, because you get too big of a class, then it tends to run over into the basketball games.
I know in years past there have been some large classes and in the early goings of the Hall of Fame, because there's so many that needed to be there in those first classes or those first few classes, and now it's to the point to where you've really got to earn your way in. Those guys, they got it done. They were automatics, and I would sure you probably had to draw a line somewhere each year because you probably could have gone 30 deep that first class. But now you're to the point where you really had to get it done now, and you've really had to stand out, particularly those that have just been out of school 5 or 6 years.
Well, you do, Andrew, and the first few years or up until the last couple of years, we've always had it at 11 o'clock.
Right.
Well, the women play at 2,
Sure.
So it was tough to get everyone out of the booth, get them over down to the gym or over to the expo in time. So we decided to let's move this thing up to move it up to 10:30, and that would give us some leeway. But yeah, it's it's getting so now that all the older ones are in.
They're in.
And now we're getting to where the newer class, the just recently graduated, but we are in a process of getting something up on our website that where you can go and they can go and nominate. Someone can nominate
Right.
through our website because right now it's tough. It's tough trying to find people to nominate.
Sure.
Actually, because like I said, all the older ones are pretty much in, but we still need people to nominate someone.
I know a football player, Larry Forrester, goes in this year. One of the first football players to go in. That program now, I guess, in its 10th year of competition, 10th, 11th, 12th year,
11th.
Something like that. And he's one of the first football guys to go in. We'll start to see more and more of those go in now, especially from that first group. And we see some of the successful teams that have participated with the Pikeville College, now University of Pikeville football team. The Hall of Fame ceremony open to the public Saturday at 10:30.
It is, and we invite everyone to come. And we've also, for the first time this year, we've sent out invitations for our Hall of Fame members to come back.
Right.
And we would like to get them involved each year to come back and be recognized.
Be a great thing to see as a large group of those show up. You talk about on the website a way to nominate individuals. I was just thinking it'd be great to go back and look at a short bio of each of those players or each of those Hall of Fame members at the University of Pikeville, then Pikeville College. Just curious, if they're not there now, is that something we could look forward to in the future, is maybe being able to see an entire list of the Hall of Fame members?
Well, I think the list is up, but now as far as like a bio, I don't think there's a bio, but I do believe it's year by year and who was elected each year.
Very good, very good. Of course, the University of Pikeville Hall of Fame ceremony, 10:30, basketball Saturday with Lindsey Wilson, the women at 2, and the Hall of Fame inductees will be presented to the crowd there between games. Also coming up, it's typical that Hall of Fame weekend you'll see the Mountain Laurel representative from the university announced during halftime of one of those games as well. That takes place as well this weekend?
That does. We will introduce them during the Hall of Fame ceremony in booth, and then crown them at halftime of the men's game.
It's a very important part of the University of Pikeville is the Mountain Laurel representative selection. I know also Saturday's a special time for the coaches, and let's talk about something special that's going on. If someone shows up, they see Kelly Wells, normally very well dressed. The shoes, they match the suit. Bill Watson, sometimes the shoes match the suit. But those guys are always looking good. But something special, it's called Suits and Sneakers. Let's hear about that.
It is. It's I don't know when it was started, but I think it has to do with the Jimmy V Foundation. It's Coaches versus Cancer, and each year the coaches will wear a suit and their sneakers during one game. It's to raise awareness for cancer, and it's kind of a fundraiser.
Just bring more awareness to the American Cancer Society.
Mm-hmm.
And Suits and Sneakers. It's a fun day, but it's also a basketball day, and it's Mid-South Conference. Both those coaches, I got a feeling they'll forget what kind of shoes are on their feet until that first stomp on the hardwood, and it doesn't draw quite the same reverberation. Coaches and the Suits and Sneakers event. Lindsey Wilson, the opponent this weekend, and the Mountain Laurel representative. They'll be presented at halftime of which game?
The men's.
The men's game.
Mm-hmm.
So the women's game starts at 2, and between games we'll meet the Hall of Fame inductees and the honorary member of the Hall of Fame, and then the men's game tips at 4.
Men's at 4, yes.
And, of course, the Mountain Laurel representative to be presented at halftime of the men's game. Coming up this weekend, University of Pikeville Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony, 10:30 at Booth Auditorium, and it's open to the public, and, of course, basketball, as always, open to the public. Robert Staggs, thanks for being here today. We want to hear in detail about this year's class of inductees, so we'll look forward to that on Saturday. And who conducts the Hall of Fame ceremonies?
Well, it's going to be, it's kind of like there's a few of us. Governor Patton will be there, of course. I will be there. Our athletic director, Reggie Overton, will be there, and plus our vice president, James Hurley. So
we'll look forward to that. and the Athletic Hall of Fame ceremony, 10:30 sharp Saturday morning. Basketball at 2 and 4. You'll be able to meet the Hall of Fame inductees if you can't make this ceremony. Robert Staggs, Assistant Athletics Director at the University of Pikeville, thanks for being on Where the 99 Lead.
You're welcome.
We talk about the University of Pikeville Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony coming up Saturday, January 28th. You've been tuned to Where the 99 Lead, a presentation of the University of Pikeville.